2025 was such a great reading year, so let's talk about my favorite books from each month. Starting in January with a 6-star read was Babel by R.F. Kuang. Then following that up with Legendborn in February and Oathbound in March by Tracy Deonn. The Legendborn cycle is one of my favorite series of all time, so I was glad to reread the first 2 books and finally get my hands on Oathbound, which was released earlier this year. April, my favorite book was The Great Believers by Rebecca Makkai. If you are going to read this book, please have your tissues ready. In May, I loved Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. This was my first S.A. Cosby, and it certainly will not be my last. In June, my favorite book was James by Percival Everett. This is a retelling of Mark Twain's The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and I prefer this version much better. In July, my favorite book was She Would Be King by Wayatu Moore. I read this for a reading challenge I created called Read Liberia, and I am so glad that I picked this up. This is one of my favorite books of all time now. In August, I really enjoyed The Lion Woman of Tehran by Marjan Kamali. And September's favorite book was an audiobook, When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. That memoir is one that will stay with me for the rest of my life. For October, I really enjoyed What You Were Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama. November's favorite was Black and Blues by Imani Perry. I learned so much reading this book, and I can't wait to return to this. And last but certainly not least, December's favorite was I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. This is a masterpiece.